Now the Dolphins.
Woo.
The Dolphins. They stopped the bleeding against the Falcons, 4 days earlier. But the tourniquet flew off last night. And that was ugly. See, it would have been better if they had lost 28-6 at 1 o'clock Eastern on Sunday and won 34-10 in prime time at home on Thursday. Because as that thing was, because I go into the game thinking, okay, the crisis averted for Mike McDaniel and Chris Greer because they humiliated the Falcons in their own building. But now you come into your own building and you slowly and gradually get humiliated to the point where the Boo Birds were out after that weird fourth down fade pass to no one. Goes to the post, literally. No one was there when
there it is.
Tua threw that fourth down pass. And then you got the fans. They're upset. They're booing. They got the bags out. One guy took a popcorn bucket and put holes in it. There's the bags. There was a whole row. There they are. How do you think to bring garbage bags? And what do you use to poke holes? Do you use keys? But then there was a dude who got a popcorn bucket and put holes in it. I've never seen that one before.
Right.
But it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing for Stephen Ross for that to happen, for a national audience to see it. And, man, I just wonder where this team goes from here.
Mike, you know this and I know this because we love football, been following football for a long time. But I think a lot of people will be surprised. So I think some maybe casual fans may put Miami because of the scenery. It's South Florida. It's the beach. It's everything. It's fun. They might put Miami fans in the same category as Los Angeles, where it's just like a neutral crowd and the opposing team takes over the stadium. No, they are a pretty intense fan base. If you would change the jerseys, if we show that and you change the jersey, you put a Philadelphia jersey on some of these people, you put a Bills jersey, you would think you were in South Philly, or you think you're in Western New York. No, they are pretty intense. And people don't understand. They're frustrated. They've been frustrated for a long time. I mean, they haven't been to a Super Bowl. They showed Dan Marino last night. It says Dan Marino's second year in the league. So it's a pretty passionate fan base, and people usually don't say that about the Miami Dolphins, but they are. And they're all set. They are all set with the regime. I think they're all set with Mike McDaniel. They're all set with Chris Greer. They just want something better. And the only thing I can say to them is you should have seen it coming. Because back to my point of what we think in August and what becomes reality in October, we thought, I know you did, didn't you? In August, that the Miami Dolphins were going to struggle. Yeah. And they're doing what we thought they did.
I thought throughout the offseason, Michael, my take on the Dolphins, and it's one of the rare times I was actually correct. The entire offseason, I was saying this is going to be a disaster because all they do is talk. All they do is talk. We're going to change the culture. We're going to change the culture. Well, how many times do you have to say we're going to change the culture before it actually makes a positive change? I've been saying all year long they're the guy who says, I'm going to start going to the gym every day tomorrow and never goes. They're always talking. And the whole Mike McDaniel thing, that vibe, it worked when it was new. Doesn't work now. That's shot. That's done. This fresh, authentic, quirky, a little kooky, a little bonkos, as Regis Philbin might say of Kramer when he's doing his book tour, book about coffee tables. That guy's bonkos. There was something about Mike McDaniel that was different. Now that's stale. That's like a leisure suit now. So he's not capable of suddenly becoming a hard ass. He's not capable of changing the culture. The culture is what it is because of him. And if they had won football games, it would have been fine. But they didn't. They didn't. And what was the word we heard last year when they played on Thanksgiving night in Green Bay? Jordan Brooks, team captain this year. We're soft on defense. That's been the thing that has plagued them. When the weather turns cold, the Dolphins go hide. And now they're just hiding when it's nice out. They're not getting it done at home. They just can't get it done. Jalen Waddle said last night, poor execution on offense. And it was. And look, there still is this hive of Tua fans that will cling to those flashes of everything's working. The play as called falls into place, and Tua has great timing, and he does. He's a maestro when everything is going well. But you know what? Take the lid off the building and let the weather in, and Leonard Bernstein, his hair's down in his face and he can't see his notes, and the oboe is clogged, and I don't know what other metaphor I can make because I don't know anything about classical music. But
somebody out there saying, who's Leonard Bernstein?
You can't be the. I at least know that, but you can't be a maestro when it all falls apart under duress. And last night was a great example of it, because Lamar Jackson in fourth gear out of 6, when it's time to move and escape, he does it. Tua, when it's time, see, this is what Xavier Howard, former Dolphins cornerback who was with the Colts back in week 1 when the first splattering happened 33-8 in Indy of the Dolphins. When the first read isn't there, Tua panics. Yeah, Tua doesn't have the ability to make chicken salad out of a play that wasn't working. Lamar Jackson does. Patrick Mahomes does. Josh Allen does. The great quarterbacks do. Tua, it's just the walls close in and he lets himself get squished. That's a Kirk Cousins thing too. Like, certain quarterbacks can't take that bad circumstance and will it into something positive. And it's we see it too often. I talk all the time about how the Deshaun Watson contract is the single worst transaction in NFL history. Well, you know what? In the conversation is the decision by the Dolphins to give Tua a contract that pays out $150 million fully guaranteed over 3 years. When they had him under contract for $24 million, they could have tagged him once, they could have tagged him twice, and the total payout would have been about $110 million. If they had chosen to tag him twice, they'd be in year 1 of the franchise tag right now. They could have walked away from him completely and totally with no further financial obligation after this year. They could have done it after last year, but they gave him that $150 million. So it's just, and there's no shame in being a middle-of-the-pack NFL quarterback. There's no shame in that. It means there's maybe 15, 16 guys better in the world at what you do. But Tua is clearly middle of the pack, and I think he's struggling to get and stay in the middle of the pack.
Yeah, I agree with that, Mike. And, I know a lot of people talk about the Dolphins and how soft they are. Okay, maybe that's the issue, but what organizationally, maybe that's the global issue with the Miami Dolphins if you're going to go macro. But if you look at them this season, all of their nationally televised games, you see the same things from the Dolphins. So last night, it's user error. It's always puzzling user error with the Dolphins in critical situations. Okay, they go for it on fourth down. That play that had everybody saying, okay, what are you doing? And Herb Street says, hey, you got to run the route. If he had run the route all the way out, he didn't run the right route. If he had done that, Achan he was talking about, maybe they have something different. Okay, user error. They were going to go for it on 4th and 1. What happened? False start. So they have to kick a field goal instead. In that game, the nationally televised game against Buffalo, they were playing Buffalo really well. Tua was doing the maestro thing, as you said. What happens in the game? Back-breaking interception when they're driving for a touchdown. So this is what they do. It's really tough to watch. Is it playing in cold weather? Is it, they fall apart when it's 37 degrees? No, they fall apart when it's 85. They just do things that good football teams don't do, and that's a really big reason why they are where they are today. Injuries aside, they just, in critical situations, they make mistakes.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.